If you're over 60 and drink coffee every day, this may surprise you. One wrong cup could be quietly draining your energy, while the right one could help you feel steadier, clearer, and more alive again. Take a slow breath. This is not about fear. This is about awareness. For many adults over 60, coffee feels like a trusted morning companion. It smells familiar, it feels comforting, and it signals the start of the day. But here's the problem no one talks about. As we age, our bodies change how they respond to caffeine, acids, additives, and hidden chemicals in coffee. What once felt energizing can now lead to jitters, poor sleep, stomach discomfort, blood sugar swings, or that unexplained afternoon crash. And most seniors assume this is just getting older. It's not always age. Often, it's the coffee choice. Some coffees sold as strong, bold, or extra energizing are actually the worst possible options for an aging body. They overstimulate the nervous system, irritate the gut lining, and interfere with deep sleep, even if you drink them early in the day. And poor sleep after 60 is not a small issue. It affects memory, mood, balance, and long-term heart and brain health. At the same time, there are other coffees gentler, cleaner, and better prepared that can be surprisingly supportive for seniors when used correctly. These options respect the slower metabolism and more sensitive systems that come with age. Yet, almost no one explains the difference. Doctors rarely talk about coffee unless it's extreme. Coffee companies don't benefit from warning you, and most people just keep drinking what they've always bought. That's why this matters. Because the goal after 60 is not stimulation. The goal is stability. Steady energy, clear thinking, calm digestion, restful sleep. And coffee can either work against that or quietly support it. In today's video, we're going to break down the 4 worst coffees adults over 60 should never touch, not because they're evil, but because they're simply wrong for an aging body. Then, we'll reveal 4 coffees you actually can drink daily when prepared the right way, without guilt or fear. No hype, no extreme rules. Just practical, senior-friendly guidance. And please understand this. You don't need to quit coffee to feel better. You just need to stop drinking the wrong kind. Many viewers tell us that small changes like this made their mornings calmer, their digestion lighter, and their sleep noticeably deeper without giving up what they love. But before we talk about what to drink, you need to know what to avoid. Because one of the most damaging coffees for adults over 60 is often the most popular one sitting in kitchen cabinets right now. And chances are, you've already had it this week. Let's uncover it next. If you're over 60, your morning cup of coffee might not be the friend it used to be. As we age, our bodies become wiser, but also more sensitive. The liver processes caffeine more slowly, the stomach lining becomes easier to irritate, sleep gets lighter, and blood sugar reacts faster to small changes. This means coffee affects you differently now than it did at 40. The biggest mistake many people make is assuming, if it never bothered me before, it must still be fine. That one thought causes more problems than the coffee itself. So today, let's talk about the 4 worst coffees adults over 60 should avoid, and more importantly, the 4 best ones you can enjoy daily. First, let's look at what to skip. Number 1. Very dark, heavily roasted coffee. These beans are roasted longer for a bold, smoky taste, but that heavy roasting increases bitter compounds and acids that can irritate the stomach and trigger reflux. For many seniors, this shows up as morning stomach discomfort, heartburn later in the day, or a nervous, shaky feeling instead of calm energy. Many people think dark roast is stronger, but in reality, it's just harsher, not healthier. Second on the avoid list is instant coffee powders and sticks. I know, they're convenient, but this is one of the worst options for an aging body. Most instant coffees are highly processed and often contain added preservatives, artificial flavorings, and oxidized coffee oils. These can lead to bloating, headaches, and those dreaded energy crashes. Some also contain hidden sugars or sweeteners that can spike your blood sugar. Remember, Convenient does not mean gentle. Third, stay away from most flavored coffees and sweetened creamers. That vanilla, hazelnut, or caramel coffee might sound harmless, but they are often packed with artificial flavor chemicals and sugary syrups. These additives place stress on the liver and can increase inflammation, which is something we want to actively reduce as we get older. The flavor masks the problem, but your body feels it later. And fourth, this isn't about the type of coffee, but the timing. Avoid coffee on an empty stomach. Drinking coffee before you eat increases acid release and cortisol levels. After 60, this can worsen anxiety, temporarily raise blood pressure, and disrupt your digestion for hours. I hear a lot of people say, "I don't feel hungry in the morning." Often, that's because the coffee is suppressing your natural hunger signals. Now for the good news. Let's talk about the 4 coffees you can drink daily when chosen wisely. First, opt for a light to medium roast, single origin coffee. These beans are roasted more gently and contain fewer irritating compounds. They preserve those beneficial antioxidants without overwhelming your nervous system. Just look for clean, simple labeling with no added flavors. Second, consider low-acid coffee varieties. These are much easier on the stomach and even the joints. They reduce the risk of reflux and just feel smoother after drinking. This small switch matters more with age than most people realize. Third, choose organic coffee when you can. Going organic helps reduce your exposure to pesticide residues, which our aging detox systems handle more slowly. This isn't about being perfect, it's simply about lowering the daily burden on your body. And fourth, focus on properly prepared coffee, not rushed. Slow brewing methods like drip, pour-over, or filtered coffee are fantastic because they remove more of those irritating oils. Filtered coffee is gentler on your cholesterol levels and your digestion. But the bean is only half the story. Let's quickly cover the 4 common aging mistakes around coffee. Mistake number 1. Drinking coffee too late in the day. After 60, caffeine can disrupt your sleep for up to 10 hours. And poor sleep quietly worsens memory, balance, and immune strength. Mistake 2. Using coffee as a replacement for food. This just leads to weakness, sugar crashes, and fatigue later in the day. Coffee is a beverage, not a meal. Mistake 3. Ignoring hydration. Coffee is a mild diuretic, meaning it can increase fluid loss. It's crucial for seniors to drink water alongside coffee, not instead of it. And mistake 4. Assuming that more equals better. 1 or 2 well-chosen cups of coffee are far better for you than for rushed, low-quality ones. Coffee should support your day, not control it. The great news is you don't need to quit coffee. You just need to adjust how you drink it. In my next video, I'll walk you through simple, step-by-step daily habits that help you enjoy coffee safely while protecting your digestion, sleep, and energy levels. These habits take just minutes but can make a surprising difference, starting tomorrow morning. Alright, let's move on to what truly matters. We're not talking about rigid rules or restrictions. We're talking about simple, daily habits that respect your body, especially after 60. These habits aren't extreme. They're realistic, medically sensible, and you can adopt them one step at a time. You don't need to overhaul everything at once. Even adopting just one of these habits can completely change how coffee feels in your body. Let's start with habit 1. Always eat something small before your first cup. This is honestly one of the most important changes you can make. It doesn't have to be a full breakfast, just a small buffer to protect your stomach lining and stabilize your blood sugar before that caffeine hits. What are some good, simple options? Think a boiled egg, a small bowl of oatmeal, a slice of whole grain toast, or even just a handful of nuts. This simple step can dramatically reduce jitteriness, acid irritation, and that sudden fatigue that often hits later in the day. Remember, think of coffee as a companion to your food, not a replacement for it. Next is habit 2. Limit your coffee to the morning window. For most seniors, the safest and best time for coffee is between about 8 a.m. and 11 a.m. Because after that, caffeine can quietly interfere with your deep sleep, even if you feel like you fall asleep. A lot of adults over 60 tell me, oh, I sleep just fine. But the quality of that sleep might be shallow, and poor deep sleep affects everything: your memory, your immune strength, and your mood the next day. So, try this simple rule. No coffee after late morning. If you're craving a warm drink later on, opt for a nice herbal tea or even just some warm water. Habit 3 is to choose gentle preparation methods. How you brew your coffee matters more and more as you age. Filtered methods like paper filter, drip coffee, are fantastic because they remove certain compounds that can stress your digestion and your cholesterol balance. If you notice stomach or heart discomfort, you might want to avoid unfiltered methods like some press-style or boiled coffees. Also, and this is a big one, avoid reheating old coffee. It just increases the bitterness and irritation. Fresh is always kinder to your body. Now for habit 4, and it's so simple but often ignored. Drink water before and after your coffee. Just one small glass of water before your cut and another one after. This simple act supports hydration and reduces the strain on your kidneys and joints. Coffee does not replace water. Especially after 60, proper hydration helps with digestion, blood pressure, stability, mental clarity, and joint comfort. Think of water as coffee's essential safety partner. And finally, habit 5. Keep your portions moderate and consistent. More coffee does not equal more energy. For most seniors, 1 to 2 cups a day is a great target. But what's even more important than the quantity is the consistency. Drinking the same amount at roughly the same time each day helps your body adapt calmly. You want to avoid that cycle of skipping coffee one day and then overdoing it the next. That kind of pattern just stresses your nervous system. Gentle routines create gentle results. And a quick note on what you add to your coffee. Large amounts of sugar will cause energy crashes, and many artificial creamers can increase inflammation. If you like milk, use a small amount. If you need sweetness, keep it minimal. The goal isn't flavor overload. It's about finding a nice balance. So, why do these habits work so well? Because after 60, our bodies prefer rhythm over shock. These simple steps work together to reduce acid stress, stabilize blood sugar, protect your sleep, and support digestion. And most importantly, they allow you to enjoy your coffee without any guilt or discomfort. Many seniors who make these changes notice calmer mornings, less stomach upset, fewer afternoon crashes, and much more stable energy. It's not because the coffee changed, but because their approach to it did. In the final part of our discussion, I want to talk to you directly. We'll talk about hope, about reassurance, and why it is absolutely not too late to feel better, even if you've been drinking coffee the wrong way for years. If you've been listening and thinking, I've been drinking coffee the same way for decades, please hear this clearly. You haven't failed. You haven't damaged yourself beyond repair, and it is absolutely not too late. Our bodies are remarkably responsive, even after 60, 70 or beyond. Small changes made gently and consistently can still create meaningful improvements. Coffee is not the enemy. Confusion is. For years, seniors were told only 2 messages about coffee. Either it's bad for you or it's completely harmless. Well, the truth, as it often does, lives somewhere in the middle. Coffee can be supportive or disruptive depending on a few key things. The type of coffee you choose, the way you prepare it, when you drink it, and how much you consume. When these factors align with the needs of an aging body, coffee can actually become a much calmer, not harsher, part of your day. In fact, many older adults report that after making just a few small adjustments, they feel more steady in the morning, less anxious or shaky, more comfortable in their digestion, and more rested at night. This isn't because coffee suddenly became some kind of medicine, but because it simply stopped being a stress. And that really matters, because after 60, health is less about chasing some frantic burst of energy and more about protecting your stability. Think about it. Stable energy, stable mood, stable sleep. These are the foundations of independence and a high quality of life. So, if you felt tired, foggy, or just a bit unsettled lately, don't automatically assume it's just your age. Sometimes it's a daily habit quietly working against you. And the good news is, habits can be changed. You don't need to overhaul your entire life. You don't need a long list of strict rules. You certainly don't need to live in fear. All you need is awareness and some small, respectful adjustments. Let's make this really simple. Tomorrow morning, you can try just one of these things. You could eat a little something before your coffee. Or maybe choose a gentler brew. You could drink just one less cup than you normally do. Or maybe just stop a bit earlier in the day. That's it. That's all it takes to start. Progress after 60 doesn't come from force. It comes from kindness toward your body. If this message has helped you see your morning coffee just a little differently, please take that as a sign. Your body is asking for a softer approach, not a complete sacrifice. And if you'd like more senior-focused guidance like this, come practical and realistic, then please stay connected with us. We focus on habits that support real life, not some impossible standard of perfection. Because aging well isn't about giving everything up. It's about choosing better, one small decision at a time. Thank you for spending these moments with me. Take care of yourself.